Yeah, 316. Got game and pulled out his own Atari. I said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, tight and birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position you can live in if you have some things in the air. If you got game, wiggle like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no fit, and you got game. If you came here to win, yeah, you got game.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Local Music Somewhere at rbeats.com. I'm your host, Greazy Keyz. Very excited about my guest in the studio today, Miss Mariah Van Kleef, local singer-songwriter. Just thrilled to have you in the studio to really kind of get to know you and have you perform for us today. Welcome, Mariah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm so happy to be here too.
Thrilled. So you are a Charlotte local singer-songwriter, right? Just going to do some research. You debuted back in April of 2016. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you've been at it for almost 10 years now, right?
It's kind of like a secret release.
Right.
Because I didn't want too many people to know about it because I wasn't ready for that sort of like vulnerability.
Sure.
I was really happy to have it as a resource that I could refer to.
Right.
But I made one Facebook post about it and that's it. And I actually, wanted to protect it, like keep it private.
Keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
Well, people might could find it if they looked carefully.
Yes.
But I was really amazed about that because me personally, I've been aware of you over the past maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing to see you kind of blossom in the music scene and sort of become what I've, a forerunner in the music community lately. And so doing a lot of research, I came across that and I was really surprised, that you had been at it for quite that long.
Yeah.
So way to go.
Thanks.
Because it's not easy, in a market like Charlotte, to sort of find your ground and sort of find a place to grow. So congratulations on that, just in itself.
You. Yeah, Charlotte's a tough crowd.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
I like that about us.
Yeah.
But there's different crowds too.
No doubt.
But like the alt crowd is a very tough crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're originally from Shelby?
No,
correct?
I grew up in York, South Carolina.
Okay, right.
I spent a few years in Shelby, and that's it. Like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like off and on.
Off and on. I hear you.
I grew up in York, and my first big serious gig was in York at the Garden Cafe.
Yes.
I held down, I played there for the first time, and then they asked me to come back every week. And then it was like a 3-hour set. So they're like, if you can do that, I was like 19. They're like, if you can do that, they, as in like York County, the world was kind of like, that little world was kind of my oyster.
Sure.
Because as a young girl that could hold down the space that I could hold down and my memory bank and what I could do, I was really like in a league of men, like older men that could do that in those areas. So I kind of had a lot of income like quietly because of that, and I didn't need to like be on the internet and Charlotte and stuff unless I really wanted to.
Sure.
And also, again, like I was so vulnerable and I knew that I wasn't ready for attention. York, South Carolina.
Put it on the map.
Yeah, I grew up on like a farm out there actually.
Right.
Not like a commercial farm, but
Sure.
Like 10 sheep, donkey, mule, some pigs, a lot of birds, a lot of different bird species running around, attacking people.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of death.
What's the most aggressive bird that you
The turkey.
The turkey is the most aggressive.
The turkey is the most aggressive bird. Oh my gosh. I got attacked by 4 turkeys at once. They slashed my face. I had a scar as a child. And right when it happened, I ran to my brother because I was like crying, and he was just kind of laughing because we saw stuff like that every day.
Sure.
He's just kind of like, he'd had his hoorah with being beat up by animals, like especially the rams. So it was just kind of the way of life. Everybody kind of just got rocked around.
Wow, no kidding. No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
That's unconventional, you would say, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of animals out there in Clover and York.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. Turkeys, watch out for them. They're dangerous, huh?
So
And
scary.
especially when they gang up on you.
Yeah.
What do they call a group of turkeys? Is that still just
I don't
a
know.
flock?
I don't know.
A
What's
flock of
crazy
turkeys?
is that I should actually there's more to that story.
Yeah,
I was
let's hear it.
7 years old or 6
Man.
years old, and I was taking a nap in my mom's bedroom, and from her room in the window, it was like a beautiful day outside, and I could see the swing. And the swing was in like the garden pen, which housed the chickens and the turkeys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to go out there, and I wanted like somebody to attend me, but mom was napping. She's like, you can probably do it yourself. Like, just go out there, right? And I'm like, okay, I can do this. Here I go. I can do this. And I go up to the swing, and I'm on the swing, and I'm like, I did it. I made it. It's a little scary. I'm out here, but whatever. And the chickens start circling me. And I'm like, is this a good circle or a bad circle? And it was a bad circle. They were like, if you're here as a human, you better feed us right now. And I was like, I'm 6 years old. I'm not gonna, nothing. I got nothing in my pockets, nothing. So I start running, and then like once I start running, the turkeys are like, she's a prey animal. It's on. Like,
she's afraid we sense your fear. We're going to chase you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when chickens are circling, it's a bad sign.
Bad sign. Yeah. I'm terrified of roosters and stuff.
I was going to say, did that kind of scar you
Yeah.
beyond just the physical?
Yeah, that's my core trauma.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, of course,
Yeah.
but that is. I actually had a very similar, only one rooster, but having chickens growing up, about the same age,
Yeah.
a rooster got after me, and I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Hightailing it to the house.
Did you win? Like, did he get you?
Barely. No, I barely won.
That's super cinematic.
Oh yeah.
I'm imagining like the door open and like the feathers like just flew like.
Exactly, a sliding glass door. It was a sliding glass door, and it was like literally like shutting it closed, and then the chickens just staring at me. So
We
I'll
should
wait
do a
for that
farm
story.
cast, a farm podcast. Just have
All the animal trauma.
exclusive for the musicians of Charlotte.
That is hilarious. So growing up in York, obviously, unique, and instead plugging into a scene where you were not only just as a young person standing out, but a young woman,
Yeah.
kind of, facing some fears. It sounds like, kind
Yeah.
of making yourself vulnerable, and then
Yeah.
finding success pretty quickly.
I thought we were still talking about the chickens. We're talking, but yes,
Yeah, bringing it back to
there's
to
so
the
many
music.
levels.
Are there
that is
songs
true.
about chickens? That's what I want to know.
Some of them.
I'm going to say some of your inspiration may draw from
It does
from that.
for sure.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm sure yours does too. Once a chicken, always a song for the
Always
chicken.
a song for a chicken. But taking on from going further for the musical career, playing solo in the in what was it called, the Garden Cafe?
The Garden Cafe.
Uh-huh.
Miss Teresa, she's
Teresa.
still out there.
Awesome.
They don't host musicians anymore
No.
because of like taxes and laws and stuff. But otherwise,
ASCAP.
Otherwise, I would have
EMI.
never come to Charlotte.
Sure.
Because I just would have been so happy.
Right.
I would have spent all my days there with them.
Right.
They had somebody there for 20 years.
Wow.
A singer-songwriter there
Wow.
every week for 20 years.
It is sad that they are not able to do that anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
that's tough.
maybe soon they'll change their
Well,
mind.
good. Well, good. We would love that. big comeback.
Yeah.
But then from there on, I read that you had a band, right?
Yes.
Rose Hips.
Oh yeah, Rose
Yeah.
Hips.
Yeah?
Yeah, Rose Hips Forever.
Uh-huh.
It's just like a band that's always there. It just doesn't really always happen. It lies dormant.
Right.
You have those.
I have those for
Yeah.
sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be a thing.
Awesome.
As soon as she gets out of herbalist school and has more time, and like one of us makes it big time, and if one of us becomes a millionaire, we'll have time to do whatever we
There you
want.
go. Then you're all in. I have that same passion with many of friends. It's like, man, once
Yeah.
one of us finally makes $1 million,
Yeah.
then we're all set.
You got to
So,
stay loyal.
That's absolutely. That's
'cause-
where it's at.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, moving into your songwriting, I went back and listened to some of that early Secret
Yeah.
release, and it's amazing. And then, even your latest releases, they're all just incredible. You see the development from acoustic to even more like electronic, but you still with your incredible voice sort of woven throughout. So it's really cool. So can you tell us a little bit about that process? Your
Yeah.
songwriting and where you draw inspiration from.
Yeah. So in the beginning, like that 2016 release, that was actually ready for over a year before I released it. And because I was playing for 3 hours at least once a week, probably like when I was in college, I was in college full time, and sometimes I would play 5 shows a week.
Yeah.
So I got like really good, like probably better than I am now, just because I was so sharp from playing out that much. And so I was just foaming at the bit with inspiration, just like very inspired by Grizzly Bear and Feist and Jose Gonzalez, and really just wanting to, get that out. And then every word that I've ever written for my solo project is like real and true and based on a very quick, poetic, lyrical expression that starts first, and then I can see and hear the melodies, and then I pick up the guitar, and then it happens very quickly.
Oh, neat.
So that kind of just all kind of happened.
Yeah.
And those 3 songs were my favorite that I wanted to move forward with at that time. Like I've always had tons of songs, but they're only songs that I feel like have like the je ne sais quoi of the moment.
Right.
For me at the time.
Sure.
Which is why it's so important for me to get this record out, because it's like there's a cue. Like I'm writing, but the more you work on the new stuff, the more the older stuff feels old.
It feels old. Yeah. Although it's brand new to everybody else.
Exactly.
Every single night. You could play the same 10 songs every single night probably to a new audience, and it'll be brand new to someone. But to you, it feels old. Yeah. I know that dilemma. That's interesting. Yeah.
I also engineered that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So my sister, she's incredible. She came in for like 2 hours before we got on a plane. We had to get on a plane. We were in LA and we had to get on a plane and go somewhere else. But she came in and she worked for like Sony and Warner Brothers and like
oh, fantastic.
sat with like Steven Spielberg. She's a boss.
Yeah.
But she came in for a couple hours at the end to like master it and fix my terrible editing. I was like, it's pretty good, right? She's like,
Dang,
but she was right.
Yeah.
I mean, she's an expert and I was an amateur.
Right.
But still, I'm very proud that I did engineer that. I spent, hundreds of hours engineering it and learning. And I took like a class at CFC.
Yep.
Like an audio engineering course.
So you were able to do that like through GarageBand?
I used Reaper.
And
then I transferred that to Pro Tools.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. See, that's a skill, like I said, a skill all in its own. So good on you to.
So happy to outsource it now.
Right.
Like I used to think that no one would respect me, like namely me, if I didn't do everything myself. And it got me nowhere fast.
Right.
Like now that I like outsource and collaborate.
Yes.
Things are going like poof, poof, poof,
great. Yeah.
And it's more fun.
Yes.
The process.
Absolutely. I know that, and then I know you probably experience that with playing in a band as well, right now, because I know you have, your own solo album, but then you have a band that backs you up, correct?
You gotta have, or I've had to have, like the right collaborations for it to make it easier and not harder. Because again, like I can hold it down myself.
Right. Yeah.
It definitely now what I offer is cool, like solo is not as cool as what I do with my band. Like finally.
Right.
But like there was a time when it kind of I'm on camera, but like it didn't make it necessarily better across the board objectively.
Right.
People have different opinions, but
sure.
Yeah. Now that that's really streamlined, it does in a way make things easier, but like even though I've learned to collaborate well enough with other people, I still have that inner control freak that thinks and feels and knows that it's easier to do it all by myself.
Well, it's easy to see that you are a visionary in your own right, and you can kind of see that. And I think it's smart for other musicians who you might potentially play with, to be aware of that and to respond to that. You obviously have a vision and a sound and a inspiration that you're looking to get out and not have it deterred or blocked.
Right. So, when new people come in the band room, I'm like, so are you used to more egalitarian band setting, or are you used to working with a leader? Because like we're going to be working with the leader. Like sometimes we're going to learn parts,
Yes.
And like in my opinion, we collectively, not the band members, but like we collectively earn the right to jam more based on learning the parts. And like It's kind of more fluid. Like there's jam room when we're learning the things because I want to tap into the genius of the other people in the room, and they often have better ideas than I had for their part.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like, I think it can be confusing for really skilled musicians that come in sometimes and that are in my band, that like it's not about the jam. It's not about the jam.
Right.
Like some songs are like about the song and the parts.
Song. Absolutely.
So kind of it's hard to be the bad guy sometimes and like kind of reel that in. But because I am trying to do something visionary and the more you jam, the more it becomes a homogenous product.
It does.
That's happened before,
Mm-hmm.
even though it feels really good to jam. So like it's kind of like making love where I feel like someone's like, oh, this feels good, and I'm like, but it doesn't feel good to me.
Right.
So let's like switch that up, you know? Yeah.
That's not the kind of jam you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really happy with my band. We have like a lot of platonic love, like a ton of it, like drenched in it.
Yeah.
So, and like stuff comes up, but we all work through it. And I feel like I've got some really good.
Right. And
bonds
that
going on
includes
right now.
Jason Klein, right?
Yeah.
L. Michael, right?
J. Michael.
My bad.
Yeah.
And then the bassist is
Logan Henley.
Logan, yes.
But Logan needs to take a break because Logan's working really hard
right.
in Rock Hill and having to commune a lot.
Right.
So now we have Corey Dudley.
Corey Dudley, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Corey's a great addition.
No.
I've known Corey for quite a while, and he
know.
is very well versed in lots of styles, and I'm sure he'll bring a great element to your sound.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. Is he going to be playing electric bass or upright bass? A little bit of both? Oh, great.
Yeah, probably mostly upright, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He's so masterful and inspiring.
Right.
Like, it takes a lot of the weight off of me to have somebody in the room that is just like that good, you know? Because like Logan was learning upright bass.
Right.
So we couldn't expect Logan to be like Corey or like to be like something crazy.
Sure.
So it's not even like inherent worth or liking someone better. It's just that like we knew where we were at with Logan. Like he was a beginner. He's supposed to be. He's not a beginner at bass.
Right.
But I wanted upright so badly because it's like not only is there a sonic difference visually, it brings you into the past, which I think is really important with my vision, you know, and like what I'm kind of trying to bring holistically is kind of this like always connecting with the past, but now the stuff I'm doing with my producer is cool because it's like future too.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of ancient future going on at the same time.
Yes.
Really like that space because it kind of is like sound travel, like the music, like transporting you to a place where we simultaneously are not right now, but we kind of are because like really we're up in the age of Aquarius. Woo, 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 woo. But like we really are, and anything can happen, and amazing things are happening all the time. And we've got one foot in the past and one foot in the future these days. I mean, in good ways and bad ways.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. And your producer, Justin Aswell, correct?
yeah.
Yeah. I've heard some of his other work, and I had a chance to work with him recently with
Oh,
on
really?
Jason Klein's new solo,
Nice.
single he's working on. And it's
Nice.
neat. Yeah. Justin adds a really incredible element, you know, like I said,
Yeah.
with the electronic drums and like I said, like almost like a futuristic kind of sound
He's a gladiator.
to music that, you know, is a traditionally based string music. So it's really
Yeah.
kind of neat to hear that from that aspect as well. So, and everything I've heard from you guys together is just it's fantastic. So
We are meant for each other.
right on.
Like
Yeah.
like production
Yeah.
wise, it's just like so easy and honestly quite holistic. It's like mental, physical, spiritual, platonic. But like it's so we're like always thinking about what I hope he knows this. Like I think we're both always thinking about what the other person needs, like deepest down.
Right.
You know, and that's like, even though that can delay business sometimes, it's best for business in the sense that we're like staying completely real and honoring like like Bjork says, like if there's not spirit on the track, it's because you didn't put it there.
Right.
Right. So if I had to learn through working with that as well, like when I was living on the road and I was like, like stuck in poverty, there were points that Justin was like, look, we can do a couple sessions. And I was like, no, too proud. Like I wanted to pay. And then when I got back, I was super stressed and I felt like if I don't get music out, I'm going to freaking starve more than I already am.
Yeah.
And like I felt like I had my muse up like gunpoint. Like if you don't get your shit together, Muse, we're not going to eat. And we're not going to have anywhere to sleep. And we're not going to be able to afford a down payment on rent in Charleston where we want to live, which I'm glad now that I didn't go to Charleston. But like at the time, I thought that was where it was at.
Right.
And even though rent is crazy and only going up, like for some reason I thought that was just going to be my ticket. And I was willing to not land anywhere until then. But yeah, it was hard. And it shows up on the attempts that we've done tracking. Like some people say that like hard times make for best music, and that's true to an extent for me. Like that's true emotionally. If I'm in pain, like if I have a migraine, I can make some of the most beautiful music I ever make if I can sit up and like do it.
Say, well, you have to put your sunglasses on and just try to quietly
heating pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Pain and creativity, like that's real. But the poverty stress that I was under, like, led to me making quick, rushed, bad decisions in the studio, making commercial decisions, which is not like Rick Rubin says, the time to think commercially is after the product is already made. Like you make something in your soul, because I fully believe that artists should influence the masses and not the other way around. Like we don't work for you. Like, we don't work for you. We work in collaboration with the world and the muse. And I'm happy when you love it. And I want to make you happy. I want to make my audience happy, don't get me wrong. But there's a part of my process that is personal between me and God and everything, And I don't want to talk numbers and commerce at that time. But when I was impoverished, I was thinking that way.
Yeah, this forefront of your mind. It
right.
makes sense.
Because Maslow's hierarchy of needs is so
Yeah.
so real.
So real. Incredible. But so let's talk about your upcoming album. You have an album coming out.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
So it's multi-medium. I've been working on it since I'm like 18.
Wow.
There's songs that on there that I wrote when I was 18. And how do I describe it? There have been many names for it, and I don't even know which name is going to be for the record now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's different names that are decided for other aspects of the record. So there's a record, there's I've been writing a fairy tale for about a decade too.
Wow.
So there's a book, there's an audiobook. There's a gallery expedition the whole month of April at UNC Charlotte at the Pop Martin Student Gallery. Our exhibit's going to be up, and it's open to the public, reception night, opening night. And me and the band, we're going to perform most of the record in like an intimate setting. And there will be, the first part of the fairy tale will be for sale. Like PDF or, pamphlet, something like that. And we're collaborating with the book art department. Yeah, that's what it's called. I keep calling it the wrong thing. The book art department at UNC Charlotte. And these students they each like selected either a chapter from the book or a song from the record. And they are expressing what it means to them.
Wow.
And like they have different styles of books that they can create. They're very small books because obviously, we're not all making one book. Victoria Byers, my partner, and I on this whole thing, like on the physical art aspect. I mean, it's not physical. I'll get to that in a second. We are working on a few models of art books behind the scenes that will be like a big conglomerate thing, but we want to see the genius of what happens in the gallery with the whole students. And like we're talking to the students like, hey, like we're if we want to talk like copyright later, like it's all respect, like, you know, like you're my equals on this project, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of just we've learned that, and it's something I've learned too in the studio with Justin, is that like, even if things move slower than I would have wanted, it allows the genius to unfold in different ways, because design is just reproduction. It's like writing. The art of writing is rewriting.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like even when you're making graphic designs for Instagram, it's like, man, I'm glad that didn't work when I tried to upload it, because now I know that this looks
Make
so
it
much
better.
better.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Mariah, we need to take a quick break, have a segment for our sponsors, and I'm going to get back with live performance and talk more about
the multimediums.
the multimedia, the album, and some other shows you have coming up. So this is Our Beats with Greazy Keyz. I'll be right back.
Welcome back to this week's segment of What's Trending Now on Our Beats Radio, Media, and Streaming Network. Upcoming local, national, and international concerts. Starting off with Black Box Theater Carolina Open Air Night 1, featuring artists Tape B, Alley Cat, Drink Your Water, and so many more. Taking place on Friday, June 27th. Doors open at 4 p.m. You can get your tickets at blackboxcharlotte.com. Halsey is performing at the PNC Music Pavilion in Charlotte for her For My Last Trick tour on Wednesday, May 28th. Doors open at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets at livenation.com. Elephant, an artist fusing melodic electronic dance music with pop, blues, and rock, is bringing the Coupe Tour to Trio Nightclub on Friday, April 4th. Doors open at 9 p.m. You can get your tickets at triocharlotte.com. This is Annalise Pearl, bringing you all the new details on the latest trending watercolor conversations. Stay on top of the R Beats app and rbeats.com, always bringing you the best independent, national, and international music artists. Constant influences on the R Beats app. Now let's get started with this week's DJ World Beats top trending songs. Spinning now on 25.8, 366, our global pop stream, DJ World Beats brings you Bed of Lies by Alice Chater, Sen's Toe by Sazo featuring Soprano, and trending now on Our Beats Radio, our house and EDM stream, we have Dreamin' by Dom Dalla featuring Dea, and 3 new songs by Acid Asian. We have Human, Deep Soul, and Space Colors, and then we have Shout by David Guetta and Nicky Ramiro. Coming up on We Global Radio, our hip hop and R&B stream, we have Why Love by Asaki, and Stone's Throw by Green Tea Hang. Closing out on Spotify playlist Only Bangers Hits Different, we have Outermore Corona Sunset Sessions by Mo Black, Alua by Moike, Sam, and Anesia, and Agira by Unfazed. That concludes this week's countdown. Be sure to check our social media sensation show What's Trending Now, and be sure to check out RBTZ TV on YouTube and rbeats.com. Thanks for watching.
Our Beats Radio isn't just a platform, it's a movement, a universal internet radio and media hub that has become the heartbeat of music discovery.
With a staggering peak of 7 million listens and an average of 80,000 listens per month, the world is tuning in. That's not just numbers, those are ears and eyes.
Yes, your brand amplified and elevated only on Our Beats Radio. Navigate the digital airwaves seamlessly with our intuitive platform. Imagine your brand being heard, being felt, being experienced. Picture your message flowing through the veins of our global network, reaching each listener.
Are you ready to elevate your brand to new heights? Step into the rhythm of success with Our Beats Radio.
Our platform is designed to ensure your brand doesn't just appear, it resonates. It doesn't just speak, it sings, dances, and vibrates with the rhythm of our audience's lives. This isn't just about advertisements. This is about creating a symphony where your brand is the melody. We're not just a service, we're an experience, and your brand can be at the center of it all. Your brand deserves a global stage. At Our Beats, we've turned up the volume on global outreach. This isn't about traditional advertising, it's about connecting, engaging, and resonating with music lovers all over the world. From indie beats in Brooklyn to mainstream hits in Mumbai, your brand becomes part of their story. It's about making your brand the rhythm that pulses through their day. Amplify your reach, connect with diverse audiences, and make an impact like never before.
Numbers don't lie. Our Beats isn't just a platform, it's a data-driven powerhouse. With a staggering 7 million peak listens and an impressive average of 80,000 listens per month, we're tuned into the pulse of the music world.
This is the power of a data-driven platform. We're not just throwing your brand into the void, we're strategically placing it in the spotlight, in front of an engaged, diverse, and music-loving audience.
Music is universal, and so is your brand's potential. Our Beats Radio is the crossroads where brands and music lovers from all walks of life converge.
Maximize your brand impact. Imagine your brand pulsating with the rhythm of music, reaching millions of ears and eyes worldwide. Picture your message resonating with each beat, each melody, each tune. This isn't just advertising, this is brand elevation, a symphony of success. Don't just be heard, be felt. Be a part of the rhythm of Our Beats Radio. The stage is set, the audience is waiting. It's time for your brand to join the beat. Advertise with Our Beats Radio today. Our Beats Radio, your brand, Our platform is your stage to amplify your brand's voice. This is where rhythm meets success, where your brand dances to the tune of progress. For advertising inquiries, contact www.ourbeats.com.
Welcome back to ourbeats.com. I'm your host, Greazy Keyz, with an episode of Local Music Somewhere. We got Mariah Van Kleef in the studio with us. Before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about your upcoming release, your magnum opus, as you would call it, April 17th at UNCC, correct?
Yes.
With a collaboration of not only with your music, but with some of the students there. Fill us in more.
Yes. So the book art department, those kids will be expressing, my work through their mediums, and I'm connected to that through my comrade in arms, Victoria Byers.
Yes,
she is incredible. She pursued me, like working with me, and at first, again, like back to like the control freak thing, like in my work being so sacred, it's collaboration is a journey, has
really
been a
is.
journey,
Yes.
and always is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking like intellectual property and vision, and like every time you bring in another human, that vision is going to change.
Right.
So it's so important to find the right people. And like, I feel like I do have the right people. Like the people that I collaborate and make music with right now are the people that like I would want to, like do dishes with at the end of the world.
Right, exactly. And that's so important too, is like those are the people. You could be the most talented person in the world, but if you can't collaborate or work with other people, then what's the point?
It's stunting your growth.
Exactly. And you the people that you can be in a van with for several hours or travel with, those are the people that are more important. So
I thought I was being prissy by wanting that at the beginning, so I wouldn't let myself want that. I'd be like, like sometimes you just have to work with coworkers that you don't like, and that's being a big girl.
Yeah.
But like as an artist, like it's your job to transcend society.
Right.
So it's our job to like think quantum and like push barriers, which is why so many artists love to break the rules. It's like a sacred. It's some of it is a power trip, not gonna lie, but it's empowering to like break the rules, and it's also influential. Mm-hmm. You show people that it can and should be done in certain contexts, right? Mm-hmm. Art as rebellion. Even my like little gentle fairy art, which is not always gentle. It's very scary. So I was nannying for a few years, and I was so excited to show my favorite little girl. Yes, I had favorites. Parisa. Hi.
Talking to you.
I would show her my music, and like even Blue Flower, which is a folksy song with like a little bit of a magical interlude at the center, like just chalk there thrown in the center.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do you like it?" And she's like, "Hmm." And I'm like, "Can we listen to it again?" She's like, "Scary, scary." And I'm like, "Wow, it was really just like a minor interlude."
Yeah.
But yeah, she thinks it's scary. I thought it was scary. She was 2.5, maybe 3 at the time. But I forgot how we got there.
Well, we'll have to go back and ask her now, right? Obviously she's older now. Like give her an updated review.
Yeah.
Still scary.
I don't know. We'll have to have her listen to Saraswati, which is like the scariest one.
Really? Well, I thought it was amazing. So but I'm not scared easily.
Do you like to be scared?
But we're talking about you working with Victoria and collaborating with her.
Yeah.
And so she's been a big part of of your upcoming release.
She like not only is opening doors that I wouldn't or couldn't or shalln't, I don't know, just like wouldn't have thought about. She also helps me expand my vision to like think bigger, and she also like has my back when I'm like faltering or like in a corner, like shoved in a corner somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, so she she's holistic partnership, you know, and I also have to respect her vision. Like there are aspects of our work together that are her playing field. And like that's cool because not only does it like we just have to have a protocol. We have to know when we're in somebody's playground, right? Like playing field, I guess was a better thing. But that's cool because like once I but like surrender to that truth, it's an ease of responsibility that I don't have to take.
Right.
And I can just trust, like truly trust that this aspect of the work is going to happen, is going to be good because that woman has done like awe-inspiring things. Yeah, she's a legend at UNC Charlotte. So she's the connection there. Like we're both alumni,
Right.
but I'm like anthropology, you know, like humanities, psychology, which was, I have a science degree because psychology was considered a natural science at UNC Charlotte because now they want to train people to be able to, you know, handle the neuroscience and the pharmaceuticals and the legalities and studies, like research studies. Like we hardly touched on Jung or Freud. It was just like we didn't touch on that.
Wow.
It was so like when the red ball hits the center and the mouse goes up to it this many times, which can be fascinating, don't get me wrong. But yeah. So I had to do like that's my main degree, and then I have a minor in anthropology, mostly cultural anthropology, which completely balanced out the psychology because psychology assumes like healthy and sick and right and wrong. It's like very like we just know we are the Western medical system and we know
We have the answers.
in anthropology. Cultural anthropology is like you know like that doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. So it was a very good counter. And it really empowered me musically.
I want to say, does it influence your music?
Absolutely.
Your songwriting, yeah.
If I wouldn't have found anthropology in school, I think I would have kept going in school in like a super sterile direction because we can use like intellectuality and degrees as armor to protect ourselves from being vulnerable and to assign worth to ourselves where we feel that it's not enough. And the problem with that is not like it's there's nothing wrong with getting degrees because you actually do find beautiful truths that you wouldn't uncover otherwise, and we need people to do that. I'm talking about the way I was doing it and why I was doing it was because I didn't respect me unless I was like Dr. Van Kleef, neuroscientist,
unless you're paying,
extraordinaire musician, yogi, you know, like I wouldn't love myself unless I was all those things for most of my life, and it was armor, like. Any sort of like intellectuality overdone can be armor. Like if you're super intellectual and wise and smart, you probably should also be playful and childlike because that's what the bastards grinded out of us. Like I hate when people try to shun me for being childlike or playful or small or feminine. It's like this is me reclaiming my right to be what I was born to be. Right. You know? Like and you can't convince me that that's wrong or like not suitable. I mean, of course there's context, but overall like no, I'm here.
I think that's fantastic. I'm
here to stay and I'm here to play.
And we're very fortunate to have you in our community. So I think that's awesome.
My phone's ringing. It's Harry Potter. It's I think it's like Severus and Lily. I have to like hack myself to pick up the phone with beautiful.
Oh, it's fine, really. It's just kind of giving us a nice background.
Yeah. I got this new purse at Goodwill.
New to you, huh?
I also got this briefcase that yesterday at Goodwill. It was half off, $3.99, and it's beautiful. And it says, "Representative of China, 1983."
Wow!
Conference.
Wow.
$3.99 in perfect condition.
Score.
Thrifting. It saves the world.
It really is. It's the way we're all brought up. I think in this in playing music around. You know, you gotta get by with what you can and find the coolest stuff while you're thrifting. So.
Yes, treasure hunting. My mom taught me how to do that.
With your upcoming show, how do people get tickets, or how does that work?
So the magnum opus show at UNC Charlotte is free to the public. The college is funding it, which is great because it's so expensive to make and display art
Yes.
in communities. So I was very happy that they found my work and were moved by it, and that Victoria, like, did all that. But yeah, that's free to the public. April 17th, it'll be probably around 7, would be practical. I'm just guessing. And then we have I collaborate with Victoria and 2 other incredible women in Charlotte, Daisy B, also known as Becca, and Dayor, also known as Marissa.
Yes.
And we run like a Y2K party that sells out. And it's so fun. It's like immersive. That's April 26th.
That's Slumber, correct?
Slumber.
Yes.
Slumber is so fun. It like really took off a lot of my armor because I'm like, not only was my brand not really established at that time, because I've had like second and third comings as far as like my career, my music thing, because I was offline for a long time. I like denounced music a few times.
Wow.
Yeah, like there were 7 months where I wasn't online. I didn't buy a single thing for myself. I was celibate, and I couldn't sing a single note without crying.
Wow, that's a tough place to be in.
I've been like online, offline, musically.
Yeah.
And that's because it's so raw for me, and also this culture taught me that I needed to like love myself on my own, right? And like not ask for help. And I tried their way, and it sucked. And I'm not doing that like ever again, you know? Like I'm going to ask for help. Like a lot of times the way that we do find and love ourselves is through being loved by other people and loving other people. And it's a total joke that people treat you like you're supposed to isolate yourself and be capitalistic and figure out everything for yourself all the time.
You're right.
Like I love capitalism in doses. Like I love like America in doses. I love like most of all the things that are like overpopulated and very sick and making our society sick in doses. Everything, pretty much everything about everything probably can fit under that. But yeah, so back to the record and the tickets. Yeah, I think those are the most important dates. I'm also playing once a week from now. Today is March 27th. Mm-hmm. It's 1:26 p.m. and sunny in Charlotte, and I'll be playing once a week for like the next 7 weeks. And I don't have like an excellent calendar up right now because I've been slacking a little bit. But
It doesn't sound like you've been slacking at all, though, Mariah.
I'm not slacking in the quantum like overall. It's because like the
but
reality.
I feel you there. Yeah.
Reality gets left behind sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I will be telling the world through my Instagram, which is my biggest podium.
Right. I'm gonna say, Instagram seems to be your outlet. So
It's just exhausting to be on all of them.
it really is.
It's like exhausting enough to be on one of them.
One is enough. It really
Yeah.
is. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. Can I sing you my songs now?
You ready? All right. So again, we got Mariah Van Kleef in the studio, rbeats.com. She's going to gear up, get her guitar out, and play us a song. So
Here we go.
Get
Any
ready.
second now.
Here we go.
Trying to think if there's anything else cool I want to talk about. Pretty sure I talked about Victoria. I talked about the record. Oh yeah, dancers. Multimedia dance as well. So there are some dancers with like UNC Charlotte troops that are like we're collaborating with too, and they're fantastic. Like it's crazy how smart and wise some Gen Z people
Absolutely.
Or like honestly,
you can't discredit anyone just for being young.
Right.
With being stupid.
I mean, most of them are graduating with their associate's degrees these days.
Yeah.
And I mean, while it doesn't count for everything, they're being exposed to more wisdom and faster, and with the internet and everything.
Oh, it's insane.
They can do so many things that I can't, like so much better and faster. Anyway, this dancer, she's putting together more dancers, and there will be more iterations. And this magnum opus reveal is really kind of like the reveal of the beginning, because
Right.
the record and the audiobook and the book come out in January 2026. And then the vinyl comes out next summer when I'm going on tour in Europe.
Awesome.
I'm hitting Madrid, Gibraltar, I'll spend most of my time, like a week in Ireland, at least a week in Ireland, and rural France. Not sure exactly where yet. Victoria's covering that. Again, like we have like our like things. And then my sister is moving to Holland, so I'll be able to tour.
Fantastic.
And then stay with her and my
Yeah.
niece for like a couple weeks, and then tour, and then stay with them, and then tour.
That's
and then
thrilling.
Fly home.
Yeah.
So excited.
And you're gonna do all that solo?
Solo and with band, kind
Right.
of like as they can come, because
Oh,
they're
nice.
really excited.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm better with band.
Well, congratulations on being able to make that happen. Because
Well,
that's not easy.
It's not easy. Like I am a European citizen, and like I have family over there, so it's like when you know real people, it's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
waiting for someone to respond to an email.
No.
You know,
Right.
and also I think a lot of what I created is suited for that culture. You know what I mean? Although
Absolutely.
everything is like welcome everywhere, it's yeah. So I feel like it was always meant to be there, and I feel like I always expected it to go there because there have been times that I almost moved over there. You know, so it never felt like this like place that was too hard to get to. It was
Right.
like this, my bloodline deserves. I don't know.
Right.
It's just like
The
this is
origin.
our land. You know,
Right,
like
there you
this
go.
land is your land. This is my land.
Uh-huh.
But also, and there's like a lot to be said about the culture of like people thinking that something isn't for them, making it not for them.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
me too. There are so many times that like before I learned to garden and forage, I'm like, I'm just not that kind of person. I probably couldn't figure that out.
Right.
And then once you do, you're like, oh, oh, okay.
Now I see.
I just ask.
How about give us a little heads up on what song you're gonna play? A little
This
background on
song, it's called A Siren's Raid or Siren's Raid, and it's unreleased. It'll come out this summer.
it. Awesome.
And it is the sequel to Infana 1 and Infana 2. And it's really just banking and digging into like the siren concept, going like full cannibalism, taboo. Yes! Yes, I love it. So yeah, that's the premise of this song. And it goes a little something like this.
Give it.
Give it. Yeah, here we go. This is my first guitar I ever got.
I was gonna ask you about that story too.
It's so dusty. Yeah, it's got to have a story, right? It's got all this nasty stuff on it. When I was 10 years old, my mom brought me to Woody's next to, like, near Winthrop in
Oh, yeah.
Rock Hill because she was going to college out there. She was studying religion, and that's where she she already, in a good way, like, spoiled
Right.
my mind a long time ago. But she made it much worse with, like, that degree and, like, taking me to religion classes and stuff. But she heard me singing in the backseat of the car, and she was like, that's it. We're getting you a guitar. Like, you sound so good.
Yeah.
And she was like, which one speaks to your soul? And I was like, huh. And I spent a while there. And
Yeah.
this one, I swear this guitar is enchanted.
That's amazing.
I can write things and
Yeah.
feel things on this guitar that I cannot feel on any other guitar. And it's been dormant for so many years. Like, I just won't use it.
Because normally I've seen you play, and you have a beautiful Paul Reed Smith.
That's
And I
our-
was thinking, I was like, was that her first guitar? You know, I was like, 'cause
Yeah.
that would be amazing too. But
This is my first guitar.
that's really cool. Great story.
I didn't let anyone teach me. I'm unteachable. Actually, there were 3 lessons with a man with 4 fingers.
Okay.
Yeah, he was great. And then he taught, like, we played Margaritaville, and then we played On a Dark Desert Highway,
Hotel California.
Hotel California.
Classic.
And I was like, I got this from here. Peace.
You're like, I got this.
Yeah.
But which finger was he missing? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
do you know?
okay. This one.
Okay. The
So
first
he
finger. Yeah.
he had to, like, adjust everything else.
No bar chords from him, huh? No? All right, maybe.
Or was it this one? I don't know. I was 10. I don't know.
Very
okay.
cool.
Bet York County's coming out. Okay. Yeah. Without further ado, I'll stop stalling.
My eyes don't forsake, they're coming now. With broad arms, they wipe their salty brows. What do you think they taste like? Courage or sorrow? We'll find out tomorrow. Hey, hey. Sailors love sailing, but never to know the harrowing depths of the water below. Crush them, to strain them, to shed of all the skin. The devil without, the devil within. Home is so far from you now, but I am so hungry. Well, home's far from you now. I know what you dream about.
Fantastic.
I messed it up. Can I do it again, or is it all live anyway?
It's all live anyway.
Dang it.
What did you mess up? No one could
My
tell.
voice cracked at the beginning.
Oh, no. That's fine.
Redo. Just kidding. Oh yeah, which reminds me, I need to talk about the nature of the gallery, the whole record.
Please.
It's about the last 5,000 years of women being expressed through, like, demons, sirens, succubus,
Yes,
stuff
yes.
like that. It's so it's basically about infertility, honestly. But there's no like triggering stuff like babies stuff. There's nothing like that, because I'm not here to like. If someone's art was about that, that's cool. That's not what mine's about, because that's not what my issues are about. And also, like, infertility is more than that, So it's like, it's about how the patriarchy has changed the narrative, which the patriarchy hurts men too. And like the men alive today, only a very few of them are responsible for perpetuating the patriarchy. So this isn't
Right,
about like
right.
men versus women. It's about something that's very close to my heart. I was born infertile, and I have a syndrome called MRKH syndrome,
Okay.
which affects 1 in 4,500 women, which is actually a lot.
Yeah.
But it's still considered rare, and nobody talks about it because it's super awkward, honestly. So I put that into my art and
Amazing.
into this work, and it's designed to raise awareness. And one thing I do want to say, to like as a hint for the project, is like mermaids, in most reiterations of them across history, lack genitals, right?
It's true.
Did you ever think about that?
Well, maybe not in that way, but yeah, I didn't realize
Yeah.
mermaids just have tails.
Yeah. As a little girl, I would play with mermaids in the bathtub.
Sure.
And be like,
Yeah.
where does she, where does she do this and that and the other things? And that's for a reason. It was incredibly intentional, because the predecessors of mermaids were infertility demons, which were also goddesses, because back in the day, there really wasn't a differentiation. we feared what we loved, and we needed to as humans because life was crazy. And superstition actually had an advantageous purpose in society. Right. So it's about that, and it's about how like the narrative changes. Beautiful women are turned into ugly women. Ugly women are turned into beautiful women. Like there's a masculinization, a demonization that is different from the original demonization. Again, that's like more of like a historical context. So the art is inspired by the history of it, but it's not going to be, there will be like a brief lecture where I talk about all of the books and like the historical texts that inspired this, but that came later as like an addition to the project that came to me naturally.
Nice.
So like 10 years ago, I was writing a story and I created a character, and it invited me into the woods to kind of like see what happened and see what happened the next day. And that sounds crazy. Sounds absolutely batshit like zonkers, but that happens to writers, you know,
absolutely.
Like it happens to people. You should try it, you know? And that kind of started the fairy tale. That character was like the gateway, to the rest of the story. And I really needed that character. And I love that character and all of the characters. But yeah, it's a story. The point of the gallery is there's a universality to it because everyone feels like they have a fatal flaw. Some people's are just like more confined to like a diagnosis,
sure,
or something that you can name. But like everyone feels that there's something that makes them sometimes feels like at some point in their life has questioned whether they are unlovable or not. I think if you're really asking questions,
absolutely,
and and you've really experienced hardship and like you've been through challenges, you ask that. And so it kind of speaks to that for everyone. And there are also these beautiful creatures that were mermaid-like and in the go along that were men or other things. And it's not unnecessarily gendered. It's necessarily gendered because it's about infertility, women's infertility. So I think that's also a very important conversation because people are so political right now and like tribal and like black and white thinking.
That's terrible.
And there's always a third way.
There's always.
And sometimes that looks like exactly what you wouldn't think it looks like based on the outline of it.
Sure.
So
sounds amazing.
I'm excited. You should come.
I'm hoping to be there. I've looked at my calendar, but please, if you're listening,
there will be more iterations of it.
I'm going to say this is only the beginning, like I said, and we are just been thrilled to have you here at Artbeats and tell us a little bit about this, right? And we definitely want to have you back, and have a follow up and keep up with you and all your iterations of your art and your music and where you're going and when you get back, come and tell us all about it.
Absolutely.
So again, we're mainly focusing on your big multimedia show, April 17th at UNCC, 7-ish possibly. It's going to be you, the band, dancers.
So the dancers have not confirmed if they're going to be able to fit in that teeny room. We may have one solo dancer, but we already have 2 dancing troupes booked for our iteration in October, which should be at the Long Room. We're still trying to confirm all those details.
With dancing, art.
Lots of dancing,
So congratulations for just masterminding all that and just
me and Victoria.
I'm telling you, what a power couple.
Absolutely.
And we're just thrilled about it and can't wait to
maybe we should have Victoria on next. Both of us.
Let's plan on doing that.
Let's have the whole team.
Absolutely.
We'll all be like the 7 dwarves.
It's fantastic.
That's good.
Well, Mariah, thank you so much for coming in to Artbeats today.
Thank you.
Telling us about yourself and your art, and we just wish you all the best coming up. This has been Greazy Keyz with Artbeats.com, local music somewhere. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, 316. Got game and pulled out his own Atari. I said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, tight and birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position you can live in if you have some things in the air. If you got game, wave like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no